About the aid of drugs. And he joins Colleen now on our interview set to talk about it. Colleen?
Thank you, Chris. Jeffrey was an insomniac himself, so you learned the hard way on how to solve sleeping problems.
That's right.
And now you wrote a book about it called How to Sleep Without Drugs, and just to give everyone your advice on how you coped with the problem.
Well, it got to the point where I couldn't sleep unless I was taking sleeping pills, and I didn't want to take sleeping pills. They left me feeling fuzzy-headed and groggy the next day. And I began doing research and talking to doctors and talking to other people I knew who had sleep problems. And I was able to put together a program that worked for me. And one day I was having lunch with an editor, and I was telling him about this program, and he said, "It sounds great. Why don't you write a book about it?" So I went ahead and I wrote a book about it.
Now, what I found interesting was just some of the numbers you had in here. $200 million a year spent on sleeping pills. There are about 10 million insomniacs across the country, and we consume about, or they consume about 700 tons of sleeping pills annually.
That's true, and those are only the prescription sleeping pills. That doesn't refer to alcohol or recreational drugs or antihistamines or over-the-counter sleeping potions.
Now, you actually yourself got addicted, or you needed sleeping pills to go to sleep at some point.
Well, what happened is when I was in college, my time was very scheduled, highly scheduled, and I would study until, let's say, 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I'd want to take a sleeping pill and get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and go to class again. And I had a job, and I just needed to compartmentalize all of my time. A sleeping pill seemed to be an effective way of getting the sleep that I needed without having to waste any time lying in bed worrying about an exam or something like that. What I didn't realize is that it becomes a habitual form of behavior, and so that I was taking more and more sleeping pills because you develop a tolerance to them. And then you change from one form of sleeping pill to another form of sleeping pill. And it got to the point where I felt I was chained to sleeping pills, and I was very uncomfortable. I didn't want to do that.
Now, you have a 10-step program on how to do it without drugs, how to sleep well without drugs.
Right.
Let's get right to that so we can tell people how you learned how to get to sleep and have a good night's sleep.
Well, I made notes before I came here so I wouldn't forget this 10-step program. The first thing I found is that you have to sleep in a noise-free environment. And I'm very sensitive to noise, so what I do is I sleep with wax earplugs, so I don't hear anything while I'm sleeping. The other thing I learned is you cannot have caffeine, coffee, or tea within 6 hours of going to sleep. The other thing I found out, which I'm sure this will please everyone, is that one of the finest tranquilizers in the world is sexual activity. And if you have sex just before going to sleep, it completely relaxes both the body and the mind, and it makes it very easy for a person to fall asleep. In addition, I found that the temperature of your bedroom should be between 60 and 65 degrees. If it's below 60 degrees, you tend to have nightmares and awaken. And if it's over 70 degrees, you tend to perspire and turn a lot and wake up not feeling rested. Also, you should exercise daily. It gets rid of a lot of tension. It exhausts and relaxes the body, so the body looks forward to sleeping. Also, a lot of people don't know that smoking, nicotine, is a stimulant. And if you have a cigarette 2 hours before bedtime, it can keep you awake. Finally, you shouldn't have a nightcap because it suppresses what doctors call rapid eye movement. And
Okay.
Rapid eye movement prevents you from dreaming.
Okay, well, good 10 steps. And hopefully people got them down, can try to use them if they have any trouble sleeping. We have to wrap it up right now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's go back to Chris.
All right, thank you, Colleen. We will be right back with more news and a very exciting interview for you from a couple of ice